Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here, playing a new game. This is called Solitarica. I'd like to show you how to play it, do a little bit of sample gameplay, and at the end I'm going to also give you a light review with my thoughts on the game. Now, I don't really like overly long introductions, so let's just start. This is a roguelike that uses, as you might guess, solitaire mechanics for its fundamentals. Like a lot of roguelikes, you pick a class at the beginning, you have to beat a certain number of levels, and if you die, then you start over. Now, when you die, you get, I don't know, these things, I don't know what they're called, weird cube prism gems, and you can use these for a variety of purposes. You can increase you can increase the number of item slots for a particular character. You can improve the starting cards in your deck. If you click on it, you can see, like, okay, if I pay the 40 of these prism whatevers, then one of my aces becomes an ace of might that gives 3 energy when drawn. And of course, you can unlock other classes for 40 of these things. And then once you unlock a class, you can, it'll have its own upgrade options. And I like this game in that there's like a lot of different classes, so a lot of different styles of gameplay. But at the beginning, the designers decided to keep things simple, and you can only play as a warrior. So let's go ahead and start a game as a warrior. This will give us a chance to show off some of the mechanics of the game. All right, so there's some story stuff. All right, here's the pathway to the final boss and our opening level here. There's a little bit of randomness. So right now we're in Findelhoven, and that's where you always start, but this is not always the first enemy. So there's a little bit of variety in what you see. You do get a little description at the beginning. So for example, this one just will claw at you relentlessly from above. Typically the first enemy will just deal 1 damage every time they draw a card, but as you get further in the game, the effects get more varied in what the enemies will do to you. And I like that this game gives you a little bit of an introduction to the enemy, so even if you've never seen that enemy before, you at least have some idea of what to expect in that fight. Now, let's talk about what's going on here. There are 4 different resources in the game: attack, defense, agility, and willpower. I know it's a little bit weird to call them resources because those are what you typically think of as stats, but they basically are resources in that you spend them to do abilities. So the warrior's starting abilities are: you can spend 3 attack to just basically destroy one of the face-up cards that you see. The warrior can spend 3 defense to get 2 armor. The warrior can spend 1 agility to look at the top card of his deck, or he can spend 2 willpower to restore 1 heart. And you have 10 hearts here. Obviously, like in many games, if it goes down to 0, you're dead. Now, you get a resource every time you flip up a card from your deck that has that resource. So, for example, I just flipped up this 8, which has the defense symbol, and that is why I now have 1 defense. Now, the mechanics for this game are actually really similar to some free-to-play solitaire games. My wife played this golfing game that used basically the same mechanics, where you've got your deck of cards, and when you flip up a face-up card, you can use it to remove a card that is either one above it or one below it. So I can get rid of either a 7 or a 9, since I have this 8 here, and there's a 9, so I can get rid of that. Notice that gives me a willpower because this 9 had a willpower on it. When you remove a card, it goes on top of the card that you had up initially, and then you can keep going. So now I can remove an 8 or a 10, and there's a 10 here, so I can remove that, and that gave me an attack. Now a jack appeared underneath the 10, so I can actually go for the jack, and then the queen, and then now there's no kings or jacks anymore, so I am done. And I ended up with 1 of every resource: 1 for the 8 that I drew, that was, I think, defense, and then the 9 gave me willpower or something, the jack gave me agility, and the queen gave me attack. Once you can't make any more plays, or if for some strategic reason you don't want to make any more plays, you click on the top of your deck, and when you do this, the enemy clicks on the top card of their deck. And so here we have Nightclaw. In 1 turn, this will deal 2 damage to me. Alright, so now we got an extra defense because of the 6, so let's go ahead and grab the 7 and this 8. And I can use this ability now to gain 2 armor. There is a little bit of theme to the way that armor works in this game, unlike in, say, Dream Quest or Hearthstone. Poison damage in this game actually bypasses all of your armor, so you have to be a little bit careful with that in later levels when you fight against poison enemies. But now I'm basically waiting for a king, or an ace, or a 2, or a 4, something in the low range, so I can get through all these cards, so I gotta move on. And the Nightclaw comes in and breaks my armor. I got lucky and got a 3, so we'll go 2. And you have a choice to make here. You can either go up to the 3 or down to the ace, and this is influenced potentially by strategy. So, for example, if there was more that I could do from one than from the other, I might go to that one. Or I might be interested in getting a particular resource. Let's say I'd rather get some defense, so I'll go up to the 3. But it wraps around in this game. You can go from ace to king or from ace to 2, so there was no particular reason to prefer one over the other there. And now I have to click. Front attack cards become defense, and it fizzled for some reason. I'm not sure why it fizzled, but there was an ability here that the monster had and didn't go off. I can't do anything with the jack, so I have to click on the next card. And there's this Nightclaw, which in a turn will do a damage. Now, had I left the 3 up, I could actually combo it with the 4 now, but unfortunately, I did not choose that, so now I'm taking 2 damage to my face. Okay, 7 can get rid of the 6. So for the most part, the game plays pretty quickly. You know, once you get the hang of the mechanics, a lot of the times it's, you know, flip a card and see if you can do anything. A lot of the... wow, that fizzled again. I wonder why that is. A lot of the skill in this game, to the extent that you believe this game has skill, is that you know, choose what abilities to get for your character in the shop, and like what items and what spells to use and when to use them. Okay, so we cleared out all the cards. That means the monster's dead. Had we run out of hit points instead, we would have lost. After you kill each monster, you get some gold. It's called the bounty. This is basically like how much gold the monster was worth to kill. And then if you picked up any coin cards during the game, there are some cards that don't have any resources on them. They just have coins, then those get added as well. And so now you have 33 gold. Between rounds, you heal up to full. So it doesn't actually matter if you make it with max health or just 1 health. And you also get to go to the shop. Now, let's take a look at the shop last. So spells, this window lets you see what spells you currently have equipped. You can have up to 6 equipped, and you can remove them voluntarily. So if you wanted to for some reason, you could just like get rid of that spell. I don't see a reason to do that, so I'm not going to. But you're not like stuck with them or anything. You can get rid of them if you want to buy better ones. And then items, you have 4 slots, unless you pay the prism cubes to unlock up to 2 additional item slots for that particular class. Now, in the shop is where you can spend gold. And typically the way it works is there will be 4 spells for sale and 2 items for sale. So we can start with 2 agility energy, 2 defense energy, or we can get one of these spells. So this allows you to see the second card from the front in each column for 3 agility. This allows you to convert every front card to a triple coin card, which is interesting because it allows you to make more money. This allows you to lose all willpower and get an armor for each one lost. Notice that it costs defense, but it drains your willpower. And this one here lets you damage a column of selected front tiles or from selected front cards 2 times. Right now I have one that lets me just damage 1 front card, whereas this lets me actually damage it twice, so I can get through 2 cards with 1 hit. I'll go for the greedy maneuver here. We'll take the alchemy. So I'm hoping that I can actually like make enough money with this to make it worthwhile. So we'll buy it. And then that's all my gold. Now you can do this hold option, which is 10 gold. And it's like if you really want that spell, but if you don't have enough money to get it right now, or if you want it but don't want to spend your gold for some reason, you can hold it and get it later. Things do get better. So the better the monster that you've just killed, the better the spells that will be on offer. So you have to be kind of careful because, like I said, it doesn't matter if you end a fight with 1 health or 10 health. So if the thing that you just bought doesn't help you make the difference between winning and losing, and if it's not something that you want in the long term, then it's better not to buy it and save your gold for some of the better stuff that will come up later. But we're done here, so let's go ahead and fight the beardy, or the dreary Bjord. And again, it gives you a little bit of an introduction. So he will drain your energy, which is the defense statistic, I think. Or maybe it's a random thing, we'll see. And then he also uses a beard thing that causes cards to get bearded. It means that they take 2 hits to blow up. Alright, so we start with the 4, and we get a little bit of defense. I'm not going to narrate every single play I make, because at some point it gets pretty basic. Alright, he's going to deal 3 damage to me in 1 turn, which is sort of serious. Luckily I flipped a 2, though. This is actually what a coin card looks like. Right. Now you can't use it yet. Okay, so eventually that might help connect to this ace. So there's 3 damage. And okay, so we got a 2. So we can grab this ace, and now I can either go back up to the 2, or I can grab this king. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my alchemy to make every front card a triple coin card, and the hope is that I can use this to save up money to get more cards in the future. Let's flip this king just so that I can see what's behind it. And generally, I prefer to get rid of cards that have something behind them that might help me rather than finishing out a stack. Drain 1 of each energy. Okay, so I guess all your resources are called energy. And I just lost 1 of each, which is sad. I guess I'll just use my defense to gain 2 armor, because I don't have anything else to use defense for, and I might as well do it before I have my energy drained and lose the ability. 2 cards become bearded. This means it takes 2 hits for them to get through. So I'm actually, if I took this 9, it would still stay here. And then I would have a 9 on top, which wouldn't do anything. So I'm going to grab this 9 instead, which unfortunately also did not let me do anything. Okay. Drain 1 of each energy? Well, I only have one thing that has any energy in it. Okay, let's just get rid of this. What the? Oh, it went away? Yeah, I guess I don't really know how these beards work. Absorbs 1 damage unless matched. Oh, so like if I were to damage it with this, that would absorb it, but if I match it, then it does nothing? Oh, that pretty much does nothing then. Okay, cool. Well, let's move on then. Drain 1 defense. Oh, that's the only thing I had. Oh, sad. 2 cards become bearded. Well, apparently it doesn't actually matter much. Drain 1 defense. Okay, good thing I used my defense to make some armor. Now I got my 3rd attack, so I can actually attack one of these cards. But let's go 7, 6, 5. And that's all I can do. Alright, so this is basically a blank. It's not really doing anything to me. Queen. Alright. I don't really like this ability, peeking at the top card of your deck. It's like, what does that really do? I'm going to see it anyway when I end my turn. Alright, we can do 3, 2, 3. I was hoping to get another willpower to do the coin thing at one point, but I guess I never found another one. Taking 3 damage to the face here. Alright, and now we can just finish this off because I can do this, make that into a triple coin card, and then just break it. So we'll see if the gold is actually worth it. So see, I picked up I gathered a lot of coins that time because I used my alchemy thing. Now, obviously, you're missing out on the resources, but I'm hoping in these early levels I don't really need a lot of the resources that I get from the table in order to beat these easy enemies. Alright, we're up against Lord Guppington here, and let's see what's in the shop. Restore 2 hearts. Lose all willpower. I don't really want to do that. Reveal a second card. Damage the front card, then lose 2 heart and damage another. I don't really want to do that. Alright, why don't we just keep it real simple here. Why don't we grab this? So I just have 2 more hearts. That seems like a good, safe choice. And then this is tempting because if I start with 2 willpower energy, I can use my alchemy right away. But let's, not be greedy. Let's save some gold and maybe get something later on. Corrupt Mayor of Findelhoven, grab his gold as fast as you can. Okay, so there should be a lot of gold in it for us in this fight. Alright, so yeah, a lot of these are gold cards already. He's gonna whack me with this golden cane. I can't do anything with a queen. 3 cards become some random. Okay, so that means if I got a willpower, I could restore them back into gold cards. He actually gave me a random energy. That was nice of him. I guess we'll turn that into armor and pass, because I can't find anything that matches anything. 3 damage, and 2 coin cards become a random type. Alright, here we go. So I can do 7, then 8, and now I can pop this to make everything into triple gold. That was actually probably stupid because he has a lot of things that turn cards into random types, so this might get converted away before I can use it. Oh my god. Well, this is... You really don't want... Crap. You really don't want these cards to all be the same numbers, like you don't want pairs, because that makes it harder to get rid of them. I got a random energy. Okay, so I'm going to wait to use this when I can actually make a match. Okay, so now I can make 1 match. Whatever, we'll use it. Let's do that, and that's a wrap. Okay, at least there's a jack now connecting these queens. I cannot find anything that matches anything. Let's get some armor going. So we'll go queen. Let's do this again. Jack, queen. So now there's a 3, 4, 5, 6 thing going on here, which is good. I can maybe tap into that. That would be nice. So this card actually doesn't even hurt him. It just hurt me. It just helps me and doesn't actually do anything to make it worse. So it's like a dead card in his deck from his standpoint. Let's get some more armor, and then we can go either 8, 9 or 6, 5, 4, 3. Let's go for the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and that's all that we could do there. Now I can like just break random cards and hope to continue the combo, but I think it's fine to just wait and use this at the end just to kind of finish the level off. Oh my god, well, that's a lot of 2s. Alright, so we can do 6 or go 8, 9, 10. Now there's a 5, 6, which is good. Alright, he gave me a random energy, which was defense, which is good. I can get some armor before that potentially gets drained. Let's go 5 and 6 and 7. Yeah, 3 damage is pretty significant. So you have to be careful. One thing you should think about is like what's the most damage that this person can do. Because once you're at that point where you have that much health, that's when you maybe need to start worrying a little bit. Like I do now, because if he draws another one of those 3 damage cards, then I will die. So what I'm going to do here is actually pop a card. Let's get rid of this. Is that at the back? The 9? No, there's one thing underneath it. There's a 10 now. Okay, so the jack and the 10 are connected, but it doesn't help me at the moment. Let's get rid of a king. Okay, that's unfortunate. Well, I guess I'm going to use this to heal and then go back. So if he draws another one of those, then at least I don't die. 5 does not help me. I was hoping he'd give me defense. Oh, I drew defense. Let's get some armor. Now we can go 10 jack. Yeah, these hired goons are not messing around. I need to tap into this ace-king stuff, and I did. Okay, so let's get ace, then king, then back to ace. Now, I'm still dead if he draws a hired goon. So I will bust some cards here and try to get something. I'm going to bust a 7. Maybe there's a 2 underneath. Oh my god, there actually was. So I can do that and get this 3. And now I need to destroy this queen before he gets another hired goon. Oh man, that was lucky. All right, let's get the queen, and we just barely sneak it out. Now, I'm not going to keep playing this, because I think for a starting guide video, we've gone far enough to see how it can work. We got a bunch of coins and the bounty, and a good big reward. Let me end this video with just a few thoughts on the overall game. So what this game does is it combines some typical solitaire mechanics with a roguelike. And I think that that is not necessarily a bad combination, at least in the sense that combining something with a roguelike can be very effective. For example, Dream Quest, which if you're a subscriber of my channel, you know I've played a whole lot. That combines the deck building genre with roguelike, and that is an amazing game. And then its successor, Slay the Spire, is now a huge smash hit. So combining something with a roguelike can definitely be effective. I'm just not sure that combining Solitaire with a roguelike is as compelling. You don't have a whole lot of options in a given level, because when you flip up a card, basically what you're going to do with that card is all really straightforward, and a lot of the effects that you can get from your abilities are either like no-brainers, like yes, I have nothing to spend my defense energy on, so I will use it to get armor, or they're like random, like okay, I guess I'll hopefully break a card and hope to find something underneath. So there's a lot of like randomness to the effects. It doesn't feel like this, you're being very strategic when you do it. And as for the fundamentals, you know, you can only match a card above or below the card you drew, and oftentimes it's pretty obvious which matches you should make. So I think this game, you know, while it could have some improvements, fundamentally it probably did about as well as it could, given the things it chose to combine. But I'm not sure that it's compelling enough in the long term for me to, you know, put as many hours into it as I put into something like Dream Quest. But it's a fun little game. I got it on Steam for sale for like $2 and change. So if you want like a casual way to pass the time, or if something like Dream Quest is a little bit too hardcore and you want a more casual roguelike on your computer, then this is not a bad one to pick up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe if you did, and I'll see you again soon with some more games. Take care.